everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for clicking on this one. Judging by the intro, you already know what's going on here. Now, as you can tell, I picked up what I found at the time to be Amazon's cheapest package of broadheads, or cheapest broadheads. So I got 6 of these, and the price came out to be just a little over $12. I think it was like $12.39 or something like that for a 6-pack of broadheads. Now, I think after taxes, let's just call it 13 bucks. 13 divided by 6 broadheads is what you got in the package. That's $2.16 per broadhead. That's stinking cheap. The mechanicals that I'm shooting right now are like right at 13 something dollars a head. So these are extremely cheap. As soon as I open them up out of the package, just looking at the tip and the chisel and everything like that, not sharp at all. Pretty dull, actually. I may take a razor, or not a razor, but a file to these and try to file them up just a little bit. I was, however, impressed with the sharpness of the blades. Very surprised. I figured it was going to be really bad, but this whole thing is all made out of aluminum except for the blades. The blades are obviously made out of some sort of mild steel. These things are not going to hold up. I can already promise you that much. These things are not going to hold up. They're most likely going to bend in the first hog that they go through, which is okay. They're cheap broadheads. I'm probably just going to be a one and done type of deal. But before I go out and I shoot these suckers, I want to make sure that my bow is going to be hitting correctly. And I think I'm starting out right now here at about down there to my block target, 19 yards. So from my stand to my feeder is about 15 yards. So I'll also step up and take a couple of shots at 15 yards. But since I'm standing here, I'm going to go ahead and take a couple shots. Make sure that these things are close, guys. That's very important. I will throw that in. Whenever you tune your bow to a field tip and you paper tune it, or however you decide to tune your bow, I'd say probably 90% of the time you're going to have a fixed blade hit in a different spot. So you have to make sure that you're either tuned to a broadhead like this, or your bow is tuned well enough and you're shooting the correct spine, arrow, lots of different things that go into that. But just make sure, check these. If you need to, move your side a little bit, but don't go out into the woods without checking your fixed blades if you're shooting mechanicals starting out. So I'm going to shoot a couple of these arrows, and we're going to see how they're hitting down range there. And then here in the next couple of days, we're going to work on getting out and going to shoot some hogs. I've had some start showing up that need to be taken care of. I do expect these broadheads to be hitting high because my bow is sighted in with a 125 grain broadhead, and those broadheads that I bought are 100 grain. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit of sight adjustment, scoot up to 15 yards, fling a couple more, make sure that we're good to go, and then we'll go get up in the stand. Not gonna lie, I thought that the flight of these things was going to be way worse, but they actually flew fairly decent. Take a couple more shots just to make sure that we're good to go and hit right on where we need to be hitting, and then we'll go try them out. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 broadheads that I've shot, and I'm going to put them back in the box, grab 2 brand new ones, and make sure that I take 2 brand new ones out to the stand with me. Just a little advantage there. Alright, so you guys are going to be just as impressed as I am. Check this out. I just went and pulled this arrow out of the target. There you can see there's some foam right there on the edge. Foam all the way around this thing, but take a look, see what you notice. Yeah, shot the foam block and it broke a blade out of it. So I mean, that just shows you that you're getting what you're paying for right there. That's a $2 broadhead. Make sure it makes it into the trash can. I missed. Let me go throw that away. Okay, so I'm down to 5 broadheads. This one seemed to hold up. I bet you I'm going to shoot this one 2 more times. I bet you I probably lose the blades out of this one in that target as well. With that being said, first of all, I would not recommend these. A lot of people think I'm crazy for shooting an Easton injection and a lighted knock and a $13 broadhead into a hog. But here's the thing, when I go hunting for entertainment for you guys, of course. I go out because I love to hunt. 3rd when I'm hunting hogs, I go out because they're a nuisance and it's a population that needs to be controlled and contained as best we can to my ability. And then also I go out for meat. So there's, in no particular order, are those special or rated. It's just a bunch of reasons why I go out and hunt, but one that is fairly important to me is, or one that is extremely important to me, is finding my animals. And so I know that a lot of people that will just go to Walmart, buy the cheapest broadheads they can find, shoot a hog, and then not even go look for it. I want to recover the animal that I'm going to shoot for all the reasons that I just listed, but when you take an animal's life, it's important. So especially because we're doing stuff with the meat and so on and so forth. There's loads of reasons why I want to find my animals, but I wanted to try these out because I think it's important that people understand what you're getting in a cheap broadhead. And that one that I just threw away, the blades broke off in the first shot into the block target down there, kind of shows you that you're getting what you're paying for. So yeah, it may be a little bit crazy to fling a $45 arrow or $50 arrow or a $35 arrow at a pig, but hey, when you go out and hunt, you owe it to the animal. So like I said, we're gonna scoot up, shoot this one a couple more times. I bet you this one breaks, but we're gonna see what happens. So here we go. I'll take that. So I was aiming bottom left. I'm right in there in the middle of it. I did have to adjust my single pin sight here, had to roll it back below 20. And so that got me right in. I was standing at 15 yards. I ranged it with my rangefinder. Got me spot on. I'm gonna leave my sight there. We're gonna go post up in my stand and then wait for the hogs to come out. This should be interesting, guys. It's hard to say what to do in this situation because I don't recommend the cheapest of the cheap. You're gonna have accuracy problems, you're gonna have durability problems. I understand that if you're just getting into it and you maybe don't have a lot of money, that's kind of another reason why I'm doing this video, is just to prove a point. But I could also, I could be proving the point. There's a couple of different points that I could be proving here. One is that these broadheads could turn out being a great arrow or a great broadhead for a hog. After seeing that first one break in the first shot in the foam target, I'm not really feeling it. So I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that you shouldn't buy the cheapest of the cheap, broadheads that you can buy. I'm kind of more leaning towards you should spend a little bit more money and get a little bit better of a product. But could go the other way also. I could end up being very impressed with these broadheads by the time it's all said and done. Maybe it was just a fluke broadhead that was messed up in shipping or messed up in the manufacturing process. Who knows? So we'll see how the rest of them do. We'll see how the blood trails look. We'll see how this thing just performs all around in general. I'm curious to find out. Hope that it doesn't let me down, but you don't know until you get out there. So I'm doing this as a test for you guys. These challenge videos are pretty fun, but I hate tinkering with this kind of thing because I don't enjoy wounding animals at all. So let's just make that clear. But somebody's got to test this stuff, and it may as well be me because I got lots of hogs and they ain't game animals. So I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's go hit the stand. I get so pumped. I don't think any of these hogs are gonna come back, so I'm gonna kind of talk a little bit louder now. But I'm pumped because I shot and it all happened so fast that I don't remember seeing my knock come on. So I was like, I didn't even see where I hit her, but I felt really, really good. I settled out. I had a great anchor point, and I went back and watched the footage, and I absolutely 12 ringed that hog, or 10 ringed that hog, whatever you want to say. Perfect heart shot, looks like. She was quartering away 13 yards. I mean, I hope the blood trail's good. I'm pretty sure I heard that hog crash, but we'll see. I'm super stoked. I hope the blood trail looks good. I'm gonna pack everything up, and then I'm gonna jump down, and we'll start this blood tracking. So awesome. Okay. Oh, there's my arrow right there. I was gonna say, I think my arrow is in this, but as you can tell, there's grass and mud, and then there's this, and that looks like sewer. But so I wasn't gonna dig through that because it's like 3 or 4 inches deep of water. But here is the arrow. The blood looks great. Oh, would you look at that? Missing a blade. That doesn't surprise me. That blade isn't bent. That one's not bent, but that blade is definitely broken off. Missing a couple of fletching, or not missing a fletching, but knocked a fletching off. A couple of them. Or maybe it was just that one. Yeah, just that one. Alright. Well, cool. Wish I could describe to you guys how terrible this water smells. But, here we go. Let's see if we can pick up on any blood here. What's gonna make tracking blood tonight so difficult is the amount of moisture and dew that's on the ground. There's a lot of moisture. I'm sure this camera's probably not picking it up, maybe a little bit. You can kind of see the moisture on the outer ring right there, but the ground's really, really wet. You can see I just take my boots and go through here, how wet my boots are. So this could be tough. And honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if this blood trail ends up being almost non-existent or really, really difficult because the blade broke. I don't know if it broke upon the entrance or what happened, but I just have a feeling that there's going to be 2 small holes on each side because obviously I got to pass through, but I just think it's going to be difficult. We'll see. I hope that it's not, but I don't know. I don't have high hopes. Okay, so here's my first little spot right there. I'm probably 10 yards, 12 yards from the feeder. And so far, it's just little bits and pieces. This is going to be difficult. It's going to take me some time. Good grief. That's a long ways to run on a double lung. You've got to be kidding me. I just got lucky. I just got 100% lucky. I literally had just given up, and I was just about to all I was doing was scanning because I completely got off the blood trail 100%. But all she did was run straight down the tree line, and I kept telling myself, I was like, she had to have ran in the brush at some point. So I just started walking down this tree line and looking at every one of these little trails where that goes back into the trees, And sure enough, I see her laying right there. I got super lucky because my blood trail completely quit out there. And I'm looking at where she ran in right here, and this is absolutely ridiculous. There's loads of blood all over the ground right here before she died. She must have stopped. But anyway, what I was gonna come on here and say before I found her was I was gonna say this is one of the worst and spottiest blood trails I've been on in a long time. I was really starting to get worried that I wasn't gonna find her, and then the blood trail just quit altogether about 75, no, I'd say 100 yards in, because I'm 50 yards off that tree line, and this back tree line is like almost exactly 200 yards from my feeder. So yeah, so she ran about 150, 160 yards on a double lung shot with that broadhead. And there's proof right here. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Look at this, guys. I mean, I don't know what else to say. There's the exit. Perfect, middle of the body, middle of the shoulder, exactly where you want it. And this is a much bigger sow than I originally anticipated. I didn't think she was nearly this big. Let's flip her over and look at the entrance. Come on, girl. Okay, so she was quartering away. This is exactly where I wanted it. I mean, if anything, I would have liked for it to have been tucked a little bit lower and maybe a little bit further in, but actually I take that back. I just wanted it a little bit lower. It would have been a perfect heart shot, but I was double lungs. But that's actually a much bigger sow than I had originally thought. Good one to go. That was a super cool test. Honestly, don't go buy them on Amazon. You get what you pay for, guys. And like I showed y'all, whenever I picked the broadhead up, the arrow was broke, or not the arrow, but the broadhead, one of the blades was broken off of it. And that hog was quartering away pretty hard, and it went in about mid-body and came out perfect, exactly where I wanted it on that opposite side shoulder. It made it through, but it didn't make it through in one piece, and the blood trail was just not great. It took me every bit of probably 20 to 30 minutes to get, I don't know, 100 yards. Whereas if I would have shot it with the normal 2-inch mechanicals that I shoot, that hog wouldn't have even made it out of the field, and it would have made it less than 50 yards. I have some confidence in saying that. But anyway, that was actually a big sow. I would say she's about 125 to 150 pounds. It's a great size to test on. I almost shot one of them smaller piglets, but I wanted to shoot a bigger sow out of that group just to be like, hey, you know, does this broadhead work? Yes, it works. To an extent, do I recommend it? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, whenever I get home, I think the only reason why I'm going to keep those broadheads and not throw them away is to shoot like armadillos with them when they're tearing up the yard, or rabbits or something like that. And that's pretty much all they're good for. So hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Ooh. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hey, quit. If you haven't already. I'm doing fun stuff like this all the time, and now that it's springtime and I'm not traveling as much, there is a lot of hogs that need to be taken care of right here on my lease. So I'm excited to test out that flint broadhead and a couple of other things that I've got coming. And yeah, we're just going to be focused on hogs and turkeys for the next several months. So you guys do not want to miss out on any of it. Be sure to hit the notifications bell if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna get these mosquitoes away from me and go get me some dinner. Love you guys. Y'all are awesome, and I will see you in a couple days. I actually have one more thing that I want to say. As I'm sitting here packing up, I got to thinking about all the crazy things that are going on right now with the coronavirus. And to officially close this video out, I know that many of us all over the world and all over the United States are being quarantined to home and not able to get out and work, and you're stuck at home with your family and things like that. And yes, it's frustrating and a scary time not knowing what the outcome of this whole virus is going to be. But guys, I just want to take a second to tell you to place your trust in the good Lord above and take this time right now, instead of focusing on some of the bad things or some of the not so great things about this virus, and really just concentrate on your family. Spend time with your family. Have a good time with them. Go do things that you otherwise wouldn't make time for, and recenter and refocus your relationships, your important relationships that will forever be a part of your life. And so I just want to take a second to leave an encouraging word. I know that you guys love seeing the hog hunts, and that you love seeing the hunting and the fishing and the different things that I put out on this channel, but I also I'm very fortunate and blessed, and I feel called to use this platform to be encouraging and to do my best to point you guys in the right direction. And I know that a lot of people that are watching are adults, and that's great, but a lot of you are kids too, and I just want to help anyone out. I just want to leave some encouraging words. I'm not the smartest person in the world by any means, but I feel like this is a part of my calling. And so with that being said, guys, just be mindful, be appreciative. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you in just a couple of days. Piece of junk.